Okay, welcome everybody. We're online now. I hope everything is working. If something doesn't, just give me a quick note. As you can see, we are going to do a new landscape art painting today, and actually I just Goat Babe, hello. I hope you're doing fine. I think that's the first time you're on stream, so if you like, tell us a little bit about you. Feel free to ask questions. If you stream on Twitch too, I can give you a shout out. I apologize in advance, as I'm still in the late stages of my corona infection. It kinda got better. You don't, that's okay. So enjoy the stream then. So I might need to cough a bit, so I try to keep that away from the mic if I have to. I do apologize, not much I can do about that. Right as I say it. Okay, so I actually, usually we do all the paintings on stream. And in the last stream we did this horror eldritch thingy, which I can show if you want, but as an kind of apologize that I did this off stream, I do have a quick speed paint recorded, which actually takes the file size to the max. It takes a very long time to save, but I say it's just 1 minute and 30 seconds, so I say just let us enjoy. We can't see the screen, one monitor. Okay, let me see. Actually, yeah, it is the wrong one. I have no idea why this isn't working. Give me a short second. Okay, this is very weird now. Yeah, this is actually the wrong monitor. So, Gold, nice to have you on stream. I have a bit of technical difficulty here at the moment because okay, I think now it should work. Do you see the here we go. Okay, so let's just watch what I did off stream, which is a bit of a concept art speed paint, and as you can see, I started out very abstract, then laid out a couple of compositional lines and perspective lines, and it somehow evolved into this sci-fi volcano planet type scene. And we will be continuing this in the stream as soon as the the animation finished. I really enjoy the color composition of this one. I need to be very cautious of the. Do you use any perspective guides or do you just freehand it? I do use a perspective grid. I can show that to you on Clip Studio Paint. It just helps me to draw things in perspective a bit faster. But then again, usually when I start to do such a piece, I usually okay, yeah, I just tried some things out. When I start with such a piece, I usually don't use the perspective grid. sometimes I do. So now let us look at a perspective grid, which is here. And this gives me a basic 2-point perspective. And what Clip Studio Paint does, and what is really cool, is that let me see. Why isn't it's drawing on the wrong layer? That I can basically just indicate the direction, and Clip Studio Paint solves that automatically for me. And I will be using that a lot too. It's always a bit yeah, I guess not so pleasurable to see the perspective grid in the foreground all the time, but yeah, I kind of need it here to really get the perspective working a bit more on this rocky area here in the background. Yeah, so this is just what we're doing. I think I will hide it for now. And I think the first thing that came to my mind when I looked at the image was that, like, this rock here, I wanted to push that even more in the background. And a quick way to do that is to basically marquee it, select the background brush, and then just push it back a little bit. And that way you get pretty nice transitioning, and it is pushed in the background. So I think what I will be concentrating most in the stream will be this rocky area, and I also want to kind of fix the photo bash I did here. At the moment it looks pretty messy. I think I will merge down all the other layers because we kind of don't need them. Also this one, as we will be drawing on one layer, as I like to do. Usually having a lot of layers just confuses the crap out of me. And so I just use one layer to draw. The nice thing is I kind of already solved a lot of the compositional structure of this piece, so I can really chill out a bit and talk with you guys, and not to worry that the thing doesn't turn out good, because I think it already looks pretty cool. It does need some additional work, and basically we do what we have been doing with the horror piece. We're just refining edges and maybe laying down a bit of structure, of texture. I don't think I will add another layer of photo bash, but maybe I want to. It kind of depends a bit how this is going. And I think if we want to indicate that there is another mountain thing, I think we want to push that in the background too. I'm switching now a bit between various tasks, and as you can see, I'm really not overly exact with this tool. It kind of doesn't matter. I will paint over it a couple million times either way, so I don't worry too much about it. Okay, this is looking good. I do think we want to have a little bit of bumps and little rocks here. It should be quite clear that this is the foreground. I think the midground looks a tad dark. Maybe we could lighten this up. I do think maybe we don't want another foreground element here, but instead indicate the perspective a bit more. And as always, if you have like any questions, if you want to have a chat about perspective, I don't know who's online yet because I did have some people asking me about various perspective topics, so we could certainly do that. Yeah, just drop me a message in chat and I will gladly do that. Maybe we can have a bit of light coming down from. Okay, we need another tool though. What you want to do if you're going for this like really epic looking stuff is to always play with the light and shadows. That's really to indicate plane changes and stuff. What I mean with that is you shouldn't be focused on like, well, this is the only light source and I will gonna use that ad infinitum and just stick with it, but rather you want to like incorporate little light sources here and there, even if they don't make a lot of sense on a like how do you put that, on a realistic perspective, but you want to add them anyway because they give the piece a better compositional outlook in a way. Okay, let's see. I do think we need to zoom in when we are detailing the structure here, but let me for now just play a little bit with the rock here, with the, yeah, it's not really a rock, is it? It's a volcano. I do want to indicate that even more. As of now, this looks pretty messy. But what I actually kind of like to do in this early stages, as to not waste my time, is I look at the really zoomed out version of this, and if you look at this, it's like in a really tiny cramped format and it still looks good. So this is I always say I forgot to manage MediaMonkey properly, so it sometimes blocks me from zooming. So I see that we have a couple of new viewers. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing fine. If you want to ask me anything, or art related or otherwise, feel free to do so. If you want to tell us how your day was, also feel free to do that. Saving recovery information. Please don't crash. The thing is, since I did activate the time-lapse function in Clip Studio Paint, which is pretty nice, it's not the best, but it's okay, the file sizes get so huge. So this is why sometimes the screen kind of blacks out when I hit save. I do have to do that a couple of times because I don't think we had a big Clip Studio Paint crash, but I need to be careful. I'm a burnt child in that regard because when we were drawing in Affinity Photo, which still I think consider pretty nice for a lot of things that you can do with it. For digital painting, I don't really know. It's still okay, but it's so unstable. Maybe they fixed it. I heard they released a new version and actually the devs got in contact with me because I was posting like bug reports and stuff. But I just switched. Was too heartbreaking to have a lot of progress lost. So. And with the progress I'm doing now, I'm really thinking hard about where the light, the main sunlight is coming from, which is actually from like this side. And then I want to adjust the colors and values accordingly. Because as you can see now, this is still pretty messed up, and not messed up, it's pretty messy, that's what I wanted to say. Maybe messed up was the horror thingy we did in the last stream. And if you want, I can show you that as well. It's kind of creepy though. Bit of Eldritch Cthulhian horror inspired piece. I don't know, it kind of evolves. Usually, I mean, you have seen in the speed paint how I started with painting the image, and this is a technique I really like to do, which just revolves around throwing paint on the canvas and then see what emerges. And sometimes you are even surprised what emerges. And that time it was this horror thingy. I do think we want to tone that down a bit. Also, if you feel like the music is too loud or not loud enough, just drop me a message and I will try to correct that. No, that doesn't work. Actually, it looks better in a subtle way. it kind of works. As of now, I'm just trying to get everything a bit more in a coherent form. I do think that I want to change the look of this cloud a bit, as I have to be aware where the light is coming from. Rockety! Men alles bei dir. Yeah, I hope you can deal with my terrible Germanized English and also the occasional cough that I have to do. I'm still not, I mean, you asked me about how I feel in your stream and you thought I'm doing fine. Actually, I don't. When I stream, it's usually earlier, not really early, but earlier in the day. When it gets to like late night, I really have these terrible coughing attacks, and don't know. I hope this goes away. So yeah, not much I can, thank you, but not much I can do about that. I just have to wait out the whole corona thing. I really don't like to imagine what it would be like if I wouldn't have been properly vaccinated. I think that would have been maybe life-threatening, so I'm really glad. I mean, not that I have any doubts about that, but just some thought that crossed my mind. Okay, let's just get the perspective grid real quick and look if that helps us. I do think so. Actually, I do introduce some lines here that I know aren't really working, but when I use the perspective grid in that way, I actually just want to get something in there to indicate the perspective, and I can fix and unscrew those lines around later. It's not a big issue, but you kind of have to have them there to help you with the whole perspective thing. Sometimes you want to get rid of the grid again, because at least for me, I sometimes have a bit of trouble judging the overall composition when there are all those lines in the background. And maybe we can introduce a bit of texture with a knife. This shouldn't be as dark, I feel. We have to be aware of a phenomenon so-called contrast creep, which happens when you fine detailing, when you're detailing a certain area of your image and you made sure in the overall composition that everything is okay. But then you keep adding shadows, keep adding light, and you kind of mess up the overall structure of the image. And it certainly happened to me a couple of times. I just need to be a bit aware of this. A good way to check is actually to let me see, how do I do this here? I think it's called a correction layer or something like that. Let me see, correction layer, and then I think Clip Studio Paint doesn't have the best solution. As I do it now, it's not really the right way to do it, but still it helps. You want to basically tone down the saturation, and you want to check that you have a clear separation of foreground, midground, and there's midground too, and background. And here we see now that we have a bit of a problem, like the sky isn't as bright, but I think it adds a bit to the yeah, how do I put that? Delete? Okay. Yeah, to the style of the image. So I think it is okay in that way. Hearing this music makes me want to compose also again. I kind of slacked a bit on the whole composition stuff. Again, might be due to Corona. I don't really like to do an on-stream composition session. Maybe talk with Slack Live about this, because he was so interested in discussing the various sound tools and DAW stuff. And what you can see here too, I think this is a very interesting take, is you basically want to start when you're doing the whole composition. Obviously you want to have it look good in the iconized version, but okay, saving. You want to have it rather muted, rather toned down, not as much saturation. And as you can see, look at how little saturation I have here now, and I add it here and it is like this really vibrant blue. So yeah, that's one tactic to achieve really nice and epic looking images is just to start down, not epic. Actually, you can see, look at this color here, it's basically gray. Yeah, I use so many brown and gray tones in my images and still they look, at least I think they look pretty vibrant in color. So that shows you once more that color isn't the most important thing in the world. What is important though is the values. You really want to watch out for your color values, for your main values. And if you're new to drawing, actually a pretty good thing to try to incorporate this is to paint black and white, because then you don't have to worry about color at all, and you can fully concentrate on values, and this helped me a lot. And as you get more and more confident, you can start to incorporate color even more. A lot of people start their images in pure black and white. I do that for thumbnails, I do that too. But usually I find that recoloring like an already really finished piece of a black and white picture, I think that's pretty hard. Because colors don't work like the hue slider you have in your painting software. Would be a bit much to go into detail here, but it is just because this is basically why you want to start with color all along as soon as you're comfortable with the levels. Now I push this a bit in the background. And let's see if we can add a bit of texture with the knife tool. I don't really know what I did here. Was it supposed to be like a rock or something? I don't know. I think I want to get rid a bit of this here. Maybe we can blend it. Not perfect, but I want to add something in here, but I have to wait until everything else is falling into place. And as you can see here, also I kind of did use a lot of the photo reference, and I do incorporate also some forms if I like them. But what is important is to not to get too hung up on the details you get from those, that you just want to overpaint everything to get a homogeneous look. Which is what I'm doing here now. Yeah, that kind of works. Still, I don't like this a bit soft edge texture here. And you need to really sell the stone structure a bit more. Yeah, something like that. Maybe we want to tone down everything back a bit. Okay. Before we forget it, let's just save real quick. Don't be afraid. The screen will go black for a short second. Or at least it used to do that, because I'm recording a time-lapse video. Yeah, it did go black. So, okay. Writing to file. Please hurry up, I want to paint. Yeah, I don't know if I like to paint with that enabled. It takes so long to write the file, because the files kind of get huge in size. I wouldn't be surprised if the file size is now over 1 GB or something. Okay, now I'm okay. I was just going to say, now I'm afraid maybe it did get stuck in an infinite circle, but it didn't. Everything worked. I think that we want to separate the background here a bit more from the foreground, from the midground, I'm sorry. So the way we do that is to marquee the, it's okay. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look that good. We want to marquee out the background from the midground and then use the soft ground brush. And go into here and push everything a bit more. Actually, I kind of like that, but we do need some separation. You really do. So maybe we can get a separation that way. Okay, let's look. Yeah, I do think we needed to do that, even though I kind of like the yellow and orange tones there. Let me see, where do we need to go? I need a chop brush. Almost a running joke how much I like the default Photoshop chop brush. I don't know, something about this tool just, it feels good to paint with it. It has a certain amount of texture, but it's pretty clean. And I don't know, I guess it's something I picked up from watching too much Feng Zhu. But yeah. I don't think it has so much to do with the texture as it has something to do with the way Clip Studio Paint handles opacity, which it does really good. And as I have opacity controlled by my pen pressure, and especially with this this tool, which I actually created myself, so this wasn't a standard tool in Clip Studio Paint. It is in Photoshop though. But yeah, it kind of just works for me. Settles nicely into my workflow. Do think we... And now you can see I'm really being careful with the value and with the saturation that I add. I really don't want to overdo it. I do want to make everything like really pop though. Yeah, this is too much. You can see I overdid it there. And then let's smudge this a bit with the Painterly blender. And one thing I do want to mention is that I really don't like blending as much because it always introduces, if you don't know what you're doing, you are sure to introduce like this really digital looking soft quality. I can't really explain it. It's like it gives you very much away you're working in digital media, and also that you don't have a clue about shading. So what I want to do instead is just use this sparingly and rely usually on my painting tools, and sometimes the color mixing option. I like that far more than the option to use the blender, but sometimes it does trick. And if I want to use something like that, the Painterly blender gives me a bit of texture, so it isn't like an airbrush thingy. The airbrush certainly has its place, like for pushing and pulling things in the background and in the foreground, therefore they are perfect, but every tool has a purpose. And sometimes you don't want to use the wrong tool. Usually that's what you want to do. I also do think that we want to add some maybe smoke or something here, but we can do that later. If I add that now, it will just occlude everything, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, let's see where our perspective grid lies here. And I don't think we need it there. Actually, I kind of forgot to turn on snapping there. It's okay though. Like, I got the question, I think from Gold in the beginning of the stream, if I freehand everything or if I use a grid. And I said, yeah, I use a grid. But you can see, sometimes it's easier to just freehand everything than to really take huge use of this. Always depends a bit on what you're currently drawing. I still think this is a bit too bright. Let's turn it down a bit. Okay, I mean, still has a lot of issues, but I think I want to get a bit done here on the foreground. First thing I do is to blend this a little bit. Spiky mountains. No concept artist can escape them. And I really love them too. And here it is just some small stones and pebbles. Still, it's the same principle. Gold Babe. Yeah, photo bashing. We did a bit of photo bashing here. I do want to, like, if I use photos, I use them mainly for the color, and then when I use some of the shapes and forms, I do at least want to include that fact a bit. Like, I want to give this a bit of a painterly look. Obviously, it's a concept art trick. I'm working on a photo bash environment as well. Go Babe, if you want to share it, please go ahead. Drop a link in the chat. If it's like confidential or anything like that, no need. It's okay. But if you want to share it, you can do that and I can have a look at it. I don't know if I can help you with that, as I consider myself to be not that good of an artist. I'm pretty much a mediocre hobbyist when it comes to art. But sometimes I can help. And other times I can just admire the art from you. I draw as a hobby, not for work, so it's not done at all. I'm finishing up on the creature. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you have something you want to share, I would really like to see it. It's an ongoing theme here that we have a really nice community. Even though we have like a bit more quieter streams, we have a bit more action-oriented stream. It depends a bit, but yeah, it's a theme that we kind of share work and get our opinions and learn from each other, all those good things. I especially find creature design to be really, really hard. I tried to improve my costume design skills lately with the I have this ongoing project which deals with a fictional Germany in which the region of Hesse is covered in mountains, and this changes like the timeline and events and stuff like that. And I got this idea from my dreams actually, and I plan to incorporate this whole world building design to be something I regularly do here on stream. Okay, let me see. I'm having a hold back on the feed. The creature is walking towards you very slowly and has talons, but the leg that goes up just doesn't look right, even though it's accurate. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Especially when you deal with foreshortening and stuff like that, it's so complicated to get this to work right. I can definitely feel you there. One thing I usually like to do is do a bit of cheating and build like a rough approximation in Blender or something like that, and then just walk from the 3D shape that I have prepared. But now that I think about it, I usually do that more for people, and people I use the tool in Clip Studio Paint and environment, stuff like that. But one could use that for creatures. I mean, the sculpt tools in Blender are pretty powerful, but I'm usually not that patient enough to to get to a cool looking stage. You mean like Magic Poser? You're very new. Ah, okay. Then let's save that. This will take some time. I apologize in advance, but then we can maybe have a little look at the possibilities you got with the 3D posing feature. It's still calculating. God, babe, it's fine. I mean, if you don't want to, we can stick with this, but maybe you are thinking about acquiring Clip Studio Paint or something like that, and want to get a bit of information going, and I think it's always easier to just show that real quick, and then you have a basic understanding. Okay, now it's saved. How it is working. Okay, so let's start a new image, and then you have like this little toolbar here. Let me see where you can get this. Okay, and there you have, like, I already downloaded a couple of ready-made poses, but you can certainly do them on your own, and you can even manipulate them, what I usually end up doing. So let's say I drag this onto here, and now I have this. This is the male version. If I wanted to have a female, I just create a female first and then drag the pose onto it, and you can see that we can basically orbit around. We can pose the elements, scale and rotate them. We can even manipulate the hand. How did you get that? Yeah, this is basically when you have the normal version, the paid version of Clip Studio Paint. I think you can download them all for free, and I think even in a free version this works, but I'm not an expert on that. And then you can download those poses, and you can drag them into your project. And usually what I end up doing is just have that on another layer with a bit less opacity, and then I draw over that and get a nice anatomically correct figure to start. And you don't even need to have, like, let me see, something does work a bit better. Yeah, what the heck, use it here. We can, I don't think you see that on stream, do you? No, you don't. Okay, then let's go here. Oh. I hope you do see like this little menu, and with the menu you can even like beef up the figure or make him a bit more chubby. And this also works for other areas, like you can make the head really wide or really narrow, stuff like that. And usually if you play around with these settings, you can get a pretty interesting figure in a pretty interesting pose, in a pretty interesting perspective, and you can also have like multiple figures in the same perspective grid. Yeah, you kind of have to set that up, but this comes free with like a lot of the like those animation those poses here. They come pre-packaged with Clip Studio Paint, but you do have to like this pose I got here, I downloaded from the Clip Studio Paint like what is that, a website or the shop, but you don't have to pay for that. I mean, there are some poses which you can pay for, but all the figures I downloaded, they were for free. And yeah, you certainly can do that all on your own, like set up everything, which is something you could do. Sometimes I do that. Usually I just get something which is a rough estimation of what I want to do, and then I just click that in place. And also sometimes I just like to get like a real rough pose, like for example here, if I want him to have like, I don't know, a spear or something like that, I just ignore the one arm totally and just draw that in 2D. So you can do all of that in Clip Studio Paint, and it's pretty nice. Okay, let's go back. I have a red. Oh, you mean like the little handles for the dimensions? They are red, blue, and red. This is basically the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. And like I said, you can certainly deal with that and pose everything on your own, but you don't have to if you don't like. Like if that's too techy for you, which I can understand. I also like to get this rough and not like overcomplicate everything. Usually having it in a bit of a rough state is sufficient for me. I do try to do like texture paintings as well, as I don't want to like totally rely on these tools. Well, let's see what we have here. Need to include the perspective a bit more. Still it looks wonky. I really do intend to add another layer of saturation. Yeah, but I don't want to do this so quick. I'd rather have everything a bit muted and then go over it. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. I really need to have this lava rivers to be planned out a bit more. But anyway, I think we did the foreground first. And I think I want to go in with a soft round brush. At least a little bit indication of the real foreground, which I tend to darken as this is the usual flow of perspective. Okay, now we need, what do we need? I think I do want to push that a bit in the background. Go babe, enjoy your tea. I hope it's good, as tea usually is. I also am a big fan of tea myself. I used to drink a lot during work, but then Corona hit and we do have like a fully automated coffee machine. Which led to me drinking way too much coffee than is good for me. Also, for all other people, if you have any questions concerning my workflow, or I think any questions at all, feel free to ask. I give my best to answer. Kibaya, nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. As you can see, we're currently in the process of doing a new image, which is this epic sci-fi volcano cityscape. I don't know, I still have a lot of work to do, but I do enjoy it. Actually, I think I did this yesterday when Kellerabend streamed. And I basically like to have a bit of Twitch in the background, as a lot of people do. I also think a lot of people who watch me paint and ramble a bit, they like to pursue their own art projects. I think that's great. Also, Kibaya, before I forget it, thanks so much for the following. I think you followed off stream, so I couldn't say thank you. Maybe it was on stream and I just forgot, but I don't think I was online at that time. So anyway, thank you so much for the follow. Tamahomo, you're here too. Nice to have you here on stream. I hope you're doing great. I always enjoy your streams so much. You're really a very charismatic person. I told you this in, I don't know, it wasn't in the last stream, but some streams ago, where you talked that you only do this for like a couple of months, and I was so shocked because you're like so professional with everything you do. I just assumed you're doing this for like a couple of years or something. I was actually crazy. Yeah, I try to be a little bit more professional with my my streams, but I still struggle a bit with that. Usually I just want to grab a brush and paint, and as you know, sometimes I also do like these retro streams, but I come to them pretty unprepared, and then I play like shareware titles from the 90s. I don't know. You can say it's a niche. I don't know. It's more a bit unpreparedness from my side, but yeah. I do think we did a good job on the mountain here in the background. I do think we could maybe push that one in the background a bit more. So let's just marquee out the selection and then use the big round brush. Also, this looks a bit better than Gothic Phone, I hope. Okay. The thing with Gothic Phone is I like that a lot, but I'm not a person who can lay down stuff like super quick. Does it look better though? I'm actually not sure this time. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we can have a little bit of that. And I need to fix the edges there. Sorry, I lost a bit of my train of thought, but like I said, Gothic Phone, I'm not really good. As I need time for my paintings. I need to really think about them and push and pull the values and everything. And if that is like on this really quick timer, I kind of freak out a little bit. Oh, Tamahoma, you're so cute. Thank you. Glad you enjoy them. I try my very best. I do think I need to grab something to drink real quick. So have just one second. Okay. Okay. Do you need a graphic board? I actually bought like this highly expensive Wacom graphic tablet back in I don't know, when was that? I think 1 or 2 years ago. Not really sure. This is called a Cintiq 27HQ, I think, from Wacom. And it clocks about 1,000 euros. I just thought, as much as I like, before that I used an Intuos 3, and that was cool too, but it didn't have a screen, and for me I really like the on-screen display way better, and I'm a bit spoiled with the pressure sensitivity settings of Wacom products, so I thought I'd just go for this expensive tablet, and I haven't regretted it. I use it all the time and it's so great. Obviously expensive, but and not all expensive things are great, but this did work pretty good. I think we can maybe try to include a bit of texture here. It's working? Yeah. Yes. Actually, I think the combination of having a Wacom and Clip Studio Paint is really a match made in heaven. I'm so happy with this workflow. I tried a couple of things. Oh, please don't crash on me. Saving recovery information. Okay, as long as you just save it, everything is okay. So, Kibaya, do you draw too? Would be great to see some of your art if you'd like to share. I mean, yeah, also if you just want to lurk, that's totally fine too. I'm just making a bit of conversation and always telling the same stories, or telling how I try to control the edges in this painting. It kind of gets old, so sometimes I just try to make a little bit of conversation. Let's see. I do think we want a chalk brush again. I don't think those mountains were separated quite enough, so I just got rid of the smaller ones. Thanks for the follow, Barbara Butt. Thanks so much. I'm glad you dig the stream. And as a quick shout out, usually I stream on Friday from 18 to 20, or this is 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. GMT +1, and this is German Standard Time. I do have to apologize again for my terrible German accent. I try to get better with that, but actually no stream where I forget to mention that it's pretty hard to draw and talk at the same time, especially if you kind of have to translate everything from your native language again to English. So yeah, just my excuse why this is a bit hard for me. And then I stumble around and say I try to improve. It's hard though. That is centered image. Sorry about that. Wasn't aware that I can do that here. Can I? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I think now we all can see the screen a bit better. And also pretty much all of the music, like except for the choir thing you heard a bit. This is also me. So being a composer as well as an artist saves you at least a lot of Twitch hassle. You just can use all of your own stuff. So if you like that as well, I'm sorry. I can recommend my homepage and also my YouTube channel to you. And what I do actually now on the YouTube channel as well is upload all of the streams. So if you have missed a stream and Twitch is already deleting them, or just want to have a look at what I've also done, you can head over there. And you will find not all, but some videos. I will upload all, but actually it takes a lot of time, like to upload a 3 GB video file takes about an hour with my connection. So there aren't all of my paintings there, but I have them and I will upload them, rest assured. And I think also what we might do in the future is have a couple of composing streams as well, where I just fire up Cubase and maybe Dorico and get a little bit into actual sheet music if we're doing orchestral stuff. And then I just get to my piano and we make a bit of music. I mean, obviously if you're not interested in this kind of thing, that's okay too, but I do want to stream it. So I guess that makes me a variety streamer, because I do a little bit of gaming, not that much, but a little bit of retro gaming. I do those art streams, which are my main thing here on Twitch. And also some other things, like I said. now I know how you can ask with Photoshop problems questions. Yeah, you can certainly do. I did use Photoshop for quite some time, but ultimately I decided to drop it because I really don't like subscription models. So if you make any software to buy, like Cubase, I think I paid like 800 euros for that and updates. That's okay. I have no problem with that. But as soon as you make your software subscription only, you're bound to lose me as a customer pretty soon. I don't like that. I don't like the way this whole industry is evolving, but then again, maybe I do, because we have now Affinity Photo, and we have now Clip Studio Paint, and we have all those really nice alternatives, and it's really the case that Clip Studio Paint does a lot of things actually better than Photoshop. So, like, especially if you're into digital drawing, I think objectively, Clip Studio Paint is the better program. If you're doing like like Photoshop, if you're doing photo editing, Affinity Photo would be an alternative. It's not quite there, but it's close. And I was always afraid of switching from Photoshop to other programs, because I thought, well, this might be like a really hard learning curve and a pain to set up. Yeah, I mean, I have this little remote here. I don't know if you can see that, and you kind of have to set up hotkeys again, and this is a bit of a pain, but it's okay. I mean, I can deal with that one time. But actually learning the program wasn't hard at all. After Effects, you mean? Yeah, it's also something I have a lot of experience. I started out with Premiere too, but as soon as, because I do video editing for work actually, then we switched to Max and to Final Cut. So I'm actually now more into Final Cut than no, not more into, but I have more experience with Final Cut than with Premiere. But I also switched that around for like editing stuff for me myself. There I use DaVinci Resolve now, and I think DaVinci is really great. It does have a steep learning curve though. Like, it's not like with Clip Studio Paint, which you just pick up and it kind of just works. It's a bit more tedious, especially the Fusion editor. I mean, I know like Neutron and a lot of other high quality programs, they use all this node-based logic, and I can appreciate it. It does make a lot of sense, but if you're just using the program from time to time, then you tend to forget how everything works, and I think a lot of the cases it would be for me so much easier to go with After Effects in that case. But then again, I don't have it anymore, so I have to deal with what I have. I do think we want to push that a little bit more in the background here. Like, we have those little rocks here. And I don't even attempt to make this perfect, as I know I will paint over this a lot. So let's just grab the soft round brush real quick, and then we can push that back, just like that. Let me see, let's grab the knife tool maybe. We have like a really nice contrast here. I'm not really sure about the form. They like this, and this, they all have a bit of the same size. I think I do need to play a little bit around with the shapes and forms. Yeah, I'm sorry for the occasional coughing. For everybody new, I'm still recovering from a COVID infection, and this is why sometimes I have to cough. I'm terribly sorry, but not much I can do about that. Actually, COVID is really... I wish that to nobody. It is not fun at all. Especially since I used to have asthma as a kid. And so that means I do have a bit of trouble with breathing stuff. And having COVID on top of this really... Yeah, I did suffer a couple of like short breath and trouble to breathe. So let's see, how do we continue from here? I mean, I also kind of like the loose forms here. Maybe we don't have to paint everything dead. We do need to take care of the foreground though. This is quite important. So Tamahoma, do you intend to also stream today? Would be kind of nice. I do have to do something work related after stream, but I think after about half an hour I would be inclined to maybe watch a little bit of Twitch, but I do have to work again on obviously I have to work on Monday, so I don't plan to stay up like really late, and I would like to watch a little bit of Twitch. Also, the weird thing about COVID is usually I get up like really early, like at 4:40 in the morning, and COVID changed this, and now I have this really weird sleeping schedule. I hope I can get rid of this soon. Time home, that's fine too, no problem. I was just asking if you stream, but I mean I can see it if you stream or if you don't. Have fun with Disney Plus. That's totally fine. Okay. Let's see. I do think we need to blend a bit here, as I do want to have a bit of a uniform look to the image, and now the texture is really not selling this. And we do have a couple of new people chiming in. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing great. As you can see, currently we are doing this sci-fi concept art piece of a volcano colony, something like that. I did use a little bit of photo bash, and I do have to clean up a little bit here. So I think this isn't the most terribly interesting thing in the world, but good thing is I did record a time lapse this time, so if you're just interested in looking at a time lapse, you can do that on my YouTube as soon as I upload it, which will take a bit of time, but rest assured I will do that. Okay, let's use the chalk brush again and add a little bit of textural bobs here. Actually, that's too much. Okay. I like this cover. To all my German-speaking audience, they might be familiar with the song. I'm not sure. I do want to separate out the midground from the foreground here. But then I don't want to overdo it. I need to just be fairly light. So let's grab the soft round brush. I think that's too much. Yeah, I rather want to be subtle here. Or do I? I mean... The thing is, this looks too similar like this. And this gives a wrong impression on scale. Maybe we can just get rid of this in total, or at least like something like that. It's still not perfect. It still has a bit of the same mass. Oh, yeah, I know. Let's have some kind of building here. Oh, you need to switch on the grid. Everything okay? Okay. So, okay. I think when we introduce a bit of color to these buildings, they will provide a nice contrast. I mean, obviously I might want to detail them out a bit, but as of now, they at least sell the scale a bit better than the than the rock. We had that before, I think. I mean, I think I had a figure in the foreground, but I deleted it. So I think we can introduce a small person standing here. Let's just look for the best one for this application. I obviously want to add something to this, but just as a bit of an indication of scale. I actually don't know which size we should be going for. I just try out some variations. I can't really decide on a figure, but I think I like the smaller variations better. Like this makes this seem a bit more epic. Yeah, something like that. And obviously I will go into this figure and maybe add a bit of props, but... it works okay for now, what it is. Do I want to... oh. I almost did the wrong thing because this is the foreground. Okay, please don't crash on me. So this is foreground. And I do want to paint on the one layer we have, except the tiny human here. I do want to emphasize the perspective a bit more. Because as of now, it doesn't fully convey what I intend to do. Oh. Something like that. And then we can blend a little bit more until we got something we're happy with. I'm not particularly happy with this one. It looks too over blended now, but either way I will paint over it once more. And I do think with this one I want to continue it in the next stream. With the horror thing, we kind of stopped because I thought it looked okay. But with this one, I do think we want to have another stream. So again, a shout out because we're approaching the 2-hour mark, and I do have to do something work related. That means that I can't stream like a very long time now, even though we have like a lot of viewers for my for my channel. Yeah, but I promise we will continue this and the next stream, which will take place on Friday. Okay, tell you what, let's save real quick. And then we can have a short look back on how the image looked when we started, or kind of looked when we started, because I oversaved it one time. And for everybody else, we can watch the speed paint animation once more, just to see where we got here. Please don't crash on me. I always get worried when it turns completely black and says writing to file. It's just because I have like the time-lapse animation enabled, and this makes the file size take very huge amounts of space. That's why it takes so long. I mean, I can disable it, but then again, we won't have the time lapse. Okay, so let's look at Speed Paint 02. I think this is about what we had when we started. This also takes a huge amount of time to load. Okay, yeah. So I do think we improved quite a bit from this to this. We didn't really address the cityscape that much. It still looks a bit wonky in perspective, but I mean, all the elements are there. We just have to play around with the elements a bit more. I'm still not overly happy with the mountains. They look a bit like puffy in areas here. I don't want to make them a bit more sharp, but we can do that on the next stream. So let's just have a quick look. Yeah, is that the right thing? I think it is. So this is how we started the painting, which was a very abstract process, and stuff kind of just emerged, and I went with it. As you can see, very abstract, and I laid a bit of perspective lines, and we almost have the look of the image. I did incorporate some photo bashing, which you can see me doing here. Yeah, this is why everything here looks so wonky, because I think there were clouds there or something. I have to get rid of this. But it gave me very nice colors, and this is what was important. And basically, if you like stuff like that, I again say it, I stream on Friday and on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. GMT +1, that is German Standard Time. And I usually do stuff like this, concept art, landscape stuff, so if you're into this type of thing, it would be very cool if you can join me again on stream. Maybe leave a follow if you like, but you don't have to. And just to tease you a bit with the stuff I I also do, like we had this on, oh, it's too large. We had this painting on another stream, the last stream, which is a bit of a Cthulhu monster type. We had like this mountain painting, and yeah, basically if you like stuff like this, would be very cool to see you again. Okay, so and with this final image, I think I'm going to call it a day. Thank you all for staying with me. It was really a really fun stream. Huge shout out to all you guys. If you are German speaking, be sure to check out Tamahome. He has a really cool Retro Channel. Und auch nochmal auf Deutsch jetzt sozusagen, wer alles hier zuguckt und Deutsch spricht, schaut unbedingt mal Tamahome an. Hat einen ganz tollen Kanal, wo er Retro-Spiele spielt. Macht ganz viel Spaß. Auch viel mit der Community. Ist wirklich super. Okay, so, what do you want from me? I don't understand. Okay, so, do we want to rate somebody? That is the question. Let me check out real quick. I mean, if you know somebody, Kellerabend is online. Okay, so but I do think we have a mixed audience here, so I'm not sure if we should rate. No, Kellerabend isn't online at all. The cover is online, and she does great art and is English speaking. Oh, Keller was there too. Okay, I know now. I think then we just rate over to the cover, if that's okay. She's a really talented illustrator, does way more intricate stuff with characters than I could ever do. I hope you enjoy her, so I think let's just rate.